What's going on, guys? Octavian here playing Kingdom Hearts Union Cross. We are on the global version today, and the Phil Cup has proven to be a serious challenge. You definitely need some specific medals to get it done. I think most people that have been playing for a while are capable of doing it, but you might have to sacrifice some skills and stuff on medals that you normally wouldn't put them on. So here is my setup, and I did a tanking setup. There are some setups that I know some people are doing where you just are really powerful and just kill everything within a few turns. This was kind of more of a consistent setup for me. I didn't have the best damage dealing medals as far as tier 4 and lower, so here's my setup that I did. I did Pooh, Tigger, and Rabbit with extra attack, just to give me a little bit of extra defensive buff when needed. The nice thing about this is it lasts for 3 turns, so even though it costs 2 gauges and doing it twice is 4 gauges, you don't need to be using it constantly in order to survive. And then I have HPO with 0 gauge extra attack. And then I did Illustrated Kyrie. This is really my only buffer, giving me +3 strength, recovering my HP, and I got second chance on her. And then I got Iago. I threw Defense Boost 2 Max on him. Having Defense Boost 2 Max is really important for consistency in this. You could probably get away with Defense Boost 1 Max depending on how high you get your defense, depending on the setup. And then my main damage dealer, I did my Destroyer Behemoth, Max Guilt, and I got -60 Aerial on him. Honestly, -60 Ground might have almost been better for this. But, and then I have, you can put any damage dealer here. This is just a really good single attacker that I have. Honestly, though, you really want to try and aim for something that has -60 ground and a really high guilt. And having reverse right now is extra nice because you get the extra bonus here. And then you need a good skill on it with low gauge cost. That's what's really important here. You got to make sure that you can conserve your gauge. With this one, you can get to the point where you can survive very easily. So you can't just be casting everything every time. There's certain turns where I'm going to skip using any of my attackers and just strictly focus on restoring my gauges to build them back up. And then once I get them built up, then I'll start attacking. And you just got to kind of alternate until you finish it. But here we go. Let's go ahead and try this up. I'm not at max gauges, but not that big of a deal. So early on, I'm going to go right off the bat using as many defensive buffs as I can because there's a lot of enemies. I need to make sure I'm alive. Also, the next really important thing is you need to make sure that you are killing those processors pretty quickly because they will put you to sleep, which can cause a lot of problems. So they are going to be my main target here. Alright. And then since I'm pretty much at max buffs, I'm going to use my boost. No reason not to. And then use this guy as well to do some damage. Alright. And then you're usually going to die that first turn. And then you'll come back with your pet. Having your pet second chance and another second chance is pretty necessary with this strategy. Alright, and then we're going to do some more defensive buffs. Just going to do one of those. Gotta make sure we conserve our gauges. Alright. And then I'm probably not going to kill this guy. The very beginning of this is definitely RNG. There's definitely a chance I could die. And hopefully I don't. Hopefully I got enough buffs that I can make it through. Alright. Alright, and this will be enough to kill this guy. So now we're going to be down to just 2. Now, the thing you gotta watch out for is that dual blades will debuff your guy every now and then. So you gotta make sure. That's why Defense Boost 2 is so important. Because when he debuffs you, you gotta have those proc or he's gonna kill you. So, alright. So I am going to pop one of these guys. Again, they last 3 turns, so you don't need to be doing them constantly. And then one of you, and we want to try and, as quickly as possible, get rid of this second guy. So that we're down to just one enemy. Makes it much more manageable. Because if he debuffs me, and I get attacked by that second guy, that could definitely be a death. So I don't want that to happen. Alright, we'll have him dead next turn. We just got to survive this one. Alright, he didn't debuff me, so we're good. I'm just going to go ahead and not use either of these guys. I really need to try and get my gauges back. But right now, top priority is going to be killing that ball. Once I get the ball dead, I can work on building my gauges back up. Alright. Think he's still going to have some health, yeah. Alright. Alright, and that's where having the extra second chance is huge, guys. So, that was unfortunate, but I should be able to survive. Alright. This is going to be tough. I can't afford to use two. Because I need to be up to 6 gauges. There we go. Alright, he's down. And then I should be able to survive this guy. I don't believe he ever debuffs you twice in a row. So he gives you enough time to get your defense back up before he does that again. Alright, and now we're down to one guy. So now it's just managing gauges. So since I'm low on gauges, guys, I really don't want to be using any gauges right now. So I'm going to take a break from attacking him, and I'm going to get my gauges back up. You can still use HPO with 0 gauge. And this is really helpful. Hopefully most people got that back when it was a thing. Without certain metals, this is going to be really tough. Okay, so he debuffed me there. So it's pretty important to get my buffs back up. So even though I'm getting my gauges back, I want to make sure I'm popping these guys because I want to get my defense back up. So I'll take another break on attacking until I get my gauges a little higher. And this can be a little time consuming because he can keep doing that debuff over and over again. So you just gotta kind of hope that he doesn't. Alright, so no debuff there. So I can pass on these guys. Pass on her. Get my gauges back. And then tap. Use HPO. Alright, and then our gauges are looking pretty good here. Alright, and I'm going to do one more. I just want to get to full gauges here. There we go. Alright, so full gauges. And we're looking good to go into an attack phase for a little bit here. And then if we get low on gauges again, just rinse and repeat. From here, it's pretty straightforward. You should be able to survive. So I'm going to pop one of these guys. I only really ever pop 2 when it's the turn after I get debuffed, because they last for 3 turns. You don't need 2 sets of it, so it's not that big of a deal. And definitely having something with minus ground there on the end would make this a lot faster. Because I would be doing serious damage against this guy. If you manage to get like a Trick Master or one of the other medals. This was the only one I grinded out, unfortunately. So I don't have either of them. But if you have Trick Master or the other Nobody one, I can't remember what it's called. Twilight Thorn. If you have either one of those with like minus ground, minus 60 ground, you know, those 2 medals with a 1 gauge cost would dominate. Okay, so he just got rid of my defensive buff, so I want to go ahead and pop that. I still have plenty of gauges, so I'm still going to do attacks. Oh, that was really, really stupid of me. It's alright, though. We should be fine. Just means I'm going to need to do some extra gauge restore, because I wasn't thinking. Alright, so I'm just going to do gauge restore here. Really awesome if HBO restored gauges. In the JP version of this, we had a new Union Cross medal, which was basically illustrated VV, just not quite as good, and really, really helped with this challenge. Although it was a little harder, the enemies were a lot stronger. So they definitely did make this easier, which is nicer, due to the fact that we didn't have that medal, because that medal made a huge difference. Also, we had copy medals that were tier 4 and lower. So because of that, we could just like copy Kyrie EX. Unfortunately, when I joined JP, it was after those were released, so we didn't get them. There is totally the chance that we could be getting those, though, prior to this being over. So don't give up. Alright, we're looking pretty good on gauge restore. So it's tedious, guys. It's tedious, but it's consistent, and it's gonna work. You just gotta work on getting those first couple enemies out, and you're golden. So, all right, now I'm gonna go back on the offense. All right. Ooh, that was a bad paralyze. I guess this is a gauge restore turn. Which I'm already at full gauges. Yeah, you can get bad luck with that paralysis. No worries, though. It's usually not going to be enough to kill you because all these defensive boosts have multiple turns. So if you miss one, not a big deal. I'll pop one of you. Oh my goodness! That was buggy. Alright, I guess I'm doing another. Alright. Wow, I'm getting really terrible luck with that paralysis. Alright, let's do some damage. Ooh, man. The nice thing is it usually... That's why I put HPO at the very back of my blade, is because it usually wears off before you get to HPO. And HPO is the most important one to be casting every single time. Alright, we're going to skip you. Hitting Iago every time is very important as well. If you do get unfortunate and you miss one of them, it's not the end of the world, but you definitely don't want to miss two. Alright. We're getting towards the end here. Alright. Oh my goodness. Learn from my mistake, guys. Don't swipe until you see if the paralysis triggers or not. Give it a second. Oh man. What a shame. Overall, though, I really enjoyed this. Really, you don't need to worry about doing any of the ones with skip tickets. You know, if you're struggling with some of the ones, like I know like the one before this is pretty difficult. You don't need to do it. The rewards are nothing special. And on top of that, you know, there's just really no incentive to do it. So I went ahead and skipped that one and just get right to this one so I could get the rewards. I just did the ones primarily where I got good rewards, like mirrors and brooms. Those are worth doing. The ones with the skip tickets, I mean, do the earlier ones, they're easier, but if you're struggling with some of the later ones, just skip them, because you just want to make it to this one and beat this one. So I should have this next turn, as long as I don't get screwed on paralysis. Alright, yep, this should be it. Bam. There you go, guys. That is the Phil Cup, the hardest quest. If you guys have any questions or need any advice, definitely hit me up in my comments. I'll definitely give you any help I can. If this was helpful to you, definitely like the video, subscribe if you haven't already. I'm going to be constantly having all the newest Kingdom Hearts Union Cross videos, global and JP. Stay tuned. I hope you guys have an awesome day. Bye.